Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? It is 2:30 on the dot a.m. Witching hour. I think the witching hour is 2 a.m., isn't it? Or is it 3 a.m.? I think it's 2 a.m. And I'm feeling much better today, but my nose is still runny and I feel a little congested. But my chest feels better and my head feels better. So I've been feeling a lot better today. But I don't think that I'm gonna vlog for a long time because I keep on saying that. And then I end up vlogging for like an hour, and I may do a shorter vlog tonight. Because, well, I just woke up, but I wanna go back to bed and get a good night's sleep. And B, because I'd like to listen to like a half an hour of my audiobook before I go to bed, or go back to bed. So, I finished the Celestine Prophecy last night, and it was good. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It's about the search for these 9 insights. And at the very end, they kind of introduce him going on the search for the 10th insight, which I have that book at home, but I've never read the book, The 10th Insight. So I'm thinking about reading The 10th Insight at some point this year. It was a really good book, but like I don't know that I can turn around and read the same kind of book again. Like it was, you know, one of those kind of like new agey motivational books. I really liked it. I related a lot to a lot of the core concepts. I learned a lot from it as far as the way that I want to be looking at the world right now. But I am definitely an enjoyer. I'm somebody that enjoys fiction writing and true crime. I love true crime, but so I love fiction and I love true crime, and I want to read some of that before I go into the next motivational book. In fact, I'm supposed to read The Secret in January. I still have a couple days left. It's really short, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do it for January, if I'm going to put it off and carry it over yet again to the next month. I might try to get it done one day. I've got, how many days left do we have? 29, 30, 31. We have 3 days left, so we have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday left of January. I really wanted to read it the end of last year or the beginning of this year, because I wanted it to kind of inspire me with the whole idea of the law of attraction and thinking about what you want and all that kind of stuff. I really wanted it to inspire me for 2020. So I would like to try to read it this week, but I was going to go right into listening to it, but I was like, I have to listen to something else. So I was going through my books because, you know, so when I buy audiobooks, I don't look at how long they are when I'm buying them. So unless I do look to make sure that they're between like 7 and like 12 hours, because anything longer than that becomes kind of really long for me, even though I think our audiobook for February, Mindhunter, I think it's like 13 and a half hours or 13 hours and 40 minutes or something like that, but that's still doable. When the books become like 18 hours, 20 hours, 32 hours, like that for me is a serious commitment, because I don't really listen to more than an hour and a half of a book a day. So if I have a 20-hour book, that's going to take me 2 weeks to read that book, right? And I actually do have a couple like 20+ hour books. Like I have this one book, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like 32 hours that I really wanted to read, that Andy Cohen read and said something about, or I saw a picture of him reading it, and then a bunch of other, it's about a guy who finds his mom and she's like homeless, and it's about like what happened to her the years in between. It's supposed to be really good. And then, what else do I have? I mean, the Harry Potter books are really, really long. So, I don't know. But I wanted to, so I went in, I was like, do I have any shorter books that I can read? Because I'm trying to read 8 books a month, right? So I was like, why don't I go in and pick like a shorter book to read at the end of the month, and then maybe I can, you know. So I was going in and I was looking at, I actually had quite a few shorter books. I mean, anywhere from like a 4 to, you don't really get shorter than a 4-hour book for like a real book. But I had quite a few like 4-hour books, 6 and 7-hour books. Those are books I can finish in a couple days, you know? So I was going through and I was looking, and I just bought this on a sale because I wanted to see the movie. And I read like, I don't know if I just read the first one or if I read the whole series when I was a kid. And he has a couple series. I think I read like maybe the first of 2 series. I can't remember, but it's the John Belair's book, The House with the Clock in Its Walls. And Jack Black is in the movie that they did, and I really wanted to see the movie, and I still haven't seen it to this day. So I was like, okay, this is perfect. This way I can listen to it on Audible. And it's like a middle grade book. Sometimes I love middle grade books, and sometimes I really struggle. Like, I couldn't read them. I have friends of mine, like on BookTube, that read a lot of middle grade because a lot of the new, like, fantasy world building stuff is all, like, middle grade, and so, like, they really enjoy that. Actually, I have a friend of mine in real life that so his kids, well, they're older than that now, but, I think it started with him reading the Harry Potter books with them. And then they started reading other stuff together, like out loud. And now he reads like exclusively like middle grade and like young adult world building stuff. He was just telling me about this book called Tunnels, which I actually own. And it's about this dad and his son that are like on the run, and they're like making these tunnels underneath the world to go to one place to the next. But anyway, when last time I talked to him, he was like, oh my God, it's so good. He was like, I love it. So there's just a lot of creativity, and, you know, some of the books that are made for like, you know, the middle grade to junior, like middle grade to young adult. There's just so much creativity there, you know, that I think that people that really enjoy fantasy or grew up reading, you know, a lot of that. I don't read a lot of that, but I've heard that what is out there for like the young adult stuff is better than the fantasy for adults right now. I don't know, I just don't read a whole lot of the fantasy. I have some of it. I did read Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. I think I actually bought Leigh Bardugo's newest book, which is not a young adult book, it's an adult book. About a girl that she's like in college, and she has like psychic abilities or something. I think it's called now they have this thing that's called New Adult, which is not for adults necessarily, and it's not for teenagers, it's for like in between. Which means that I think it gets like, it has more of like adult issues or something in it. But anyway, so I'm listening to The House with the Clock in Its Walls by John Belair's. Now, when I was a little kid, I've told this story in here before, but my dad used to take me to, like when we would go out of town, we would stop at, like a bookstore, and he would say, you can get whatever book you want to get for the weekend or whatever. And I can remember I would get some of those like sets, if you've ever seen them before. I don't see as many of these anymore. Like half-price books and stuff I do, but like at Barnes & Noble, whatever, I don't see them. But they would be like these paper kind of like cardboard like box things. Not like anything that was like $100 set or anything like that. I mean, it wasn't anything like that. But it would be like, you could get like 2 or 3 books and they came together. Like I remember one year, I got the Roald Dahl one, and it was like, it was like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Charlie and the Glass Elevator, the Witches, and then James and the Giant Peach, and then there was like 5 in there. And they were like all paperback, but they were like this big. They were like the same size as like the John Belair's books. And so like another year I got like the John Belair's books, and they're thin and they're like blue. And it was like The House with the Clock in Its Walls, the blue figurine. I don't know if that's in the same series or if it's the next series. But he wrote, like, John Belair's was really famous. Well, he wrote in the early 70s, but then he was famous for a long time. And these books take place in like the 40s. Like this book that I'm listening to takes place in like the early 40s. So this was like about like paranormal kind of stuff. He was really famous for writing that kind of stuff. So I'm listening to that, and then I don't know what I'm going to listen to after that. I have quite a few books I do want to listen to. Oh. Well, I think going in, like right at the beginning of February, I'm going to try to listen to Mindhunter. A, because I really want to listen to that book. But B, because I like getting the True Crime Book Club book done at the beginning of the month. Because if there's stuff that like videos and whatever, like any kind of research that I want to do, I can. Plus I kind of think about it the whole month. And then I also just like having it done and being prepared. Like I don't like rushing to get it done at the end of the month. And plus I also feel like open-ended, that like then when it's done, like I can read it kind of like at my leisure, and then or at my leisure, at my leisure, and then when I'm done, you know, I can read whatever I want to read, you know, because it's like really the only book that month that like I have to read, because I set that up for myself. Now I am doing like the book club. Well, it's not even a book club, but like the read along on my Peterisms channel, which I don't even know if anybody else is reading that book with me, but like this month was The Celestine Prophecy. It was the book for December too. And The Secret, and then February is Make Your Bed. I just announced that. But that's really, really short, and I'm gonna try to pick shorter books. So, yeah, that's where I'm at with reading. And then I started a book on my Kindle. It's a Richard Lehman book. Richard Lehman wrote Endless Night, which I used to say was one of my favorite horror novels ever, until I went back and I reread it for the book club, and it was horrible. Oh my God, we hated it. It was so bad. I don't know what I think it's called. Well, I'll have to pull in here and look in just a second. It's called like Freak Show or something. I actually haven't read on my Kindle in a while, and the reason that I wanted to read something on my Kindle was because then when I'm laying in bed and I can't sleep, because last night I laid in bed and I just could not sleep to save my life, I can read a book and I can just lay there, and then that can maybe, you know, help me fall asleep a little bit. And the last book that I read, does anybody know how to delete books off of your Kindle library, like how to get rid of them? I just like, once I've read a book, I don't want it sitting there, you know, and there's like, I have samples of books that I don't want to see anymore. Does anybody know how to go in there and do that? Like, I just want to get rid of those books. I hate, like, I have to have my stuff look clean. It drives me nuts, and I don't know how to do that. So if somebody knows, can you let me know in the comment section below? I would really appreciate that. I'll actually pull in here and look at some of the comments, because I haven't read the comments on today's video yet. I was such a rush. I got up today and, what did I do today? I got up and I just kind of like hung around the house for a little bit. And then, I filmed my review video last night. Oh, that's what I did last night when I finished my review, or my vlog. I did a review of the Mountain Dew Zero, because I like went in the gas station to go to the bathroom, and like as I was walking in, I saw it sitting right there. So I just reviewed that. And then, yeah, so I had that, and I had that, my vlog. And so I like came home and I started rendering those last night. I could have had them up a lot earlier today, but I was just kind of like lazy most of the day, in all honesty. I filmed a couple videos, I went to Starbucks, I just didn't do a whole lot. And then, I hung around the house. I can't remember what else I did. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah. What was I gonna do? I was just gonna pull in here to look at something. What was I gonna look at? Shoot, how can I just said I was gonna look at something and now I can't remember what I was gonna look at. I did say I was gonna look at comments, so, but I don't remember what I said I was gonna look at as far as, well, I did want to look at, my audiobooks. I want to tell you some of the books that I have. Well, I got 2 free books. You get 2 free books every month. Okay, wait. What was I just talking about that I said I was gonna pull in here and look at? Okay, this is driving me crazy. I'm like looking through my apps. Like, what was it? Am I seriously gonna have to like stop the video and go back and see what I was talking about? This is craziness. I can't remember. I was just talking about this. I'll be right back. Okay, I was talking about what Kindle book I was reading, so I had to go back into the video to see what it was called, and it's actually called Funland by Richard Lehman. That's what I am currently reading. Well, I mean, I'm reading, like, I've read like 4 pages of it or something like that. But when I go on my Kindle, see, like, I have all these books. Enjoying Kindle? Enjoying Kindle? Tap a star to rate it on the App Store. Sure, I will rate it 5. Well, 4, because I don't know how to take these books out of here. Just a minute. So no, I don't want to write a review. Okay, so I have all these, oh, shine, shine. Shine up bright like a diamond. I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. I have all these books, but like I want to take them out of here. I don't know how to do it. If you tap it, it says mark as read, remove from device. Will that do it? Let's see. It's not gone. Remove from device. Is it gone? No. What's this? I'm gonna move this one. Well, this one won't let me. This one isn't even an option. Mark as read. This is so silly. Why can't I get these books out of here? I don't want them here anymore. Oh, No Sanctuary. That was that book that that was the last one that I read in here. So how do you do it? How do you get rid of these books? What did it just do? It just did something. What? Shine bright like a diamond. How do you get rid of these books? Downloaded. Oh my god, I'm so over this. Find book recommend. I don't know. I don't know how to get those books out of there. So if anybody knows, let me know. Okay. Let's go in here and read some comments from my vlog. Queen Mary said, feel better soon. Thank you, Mary. Lav. Okay, so this is so funny. This Lavros has gone in here. I don't know who you are, but thank you. And it's like, I just put this cup over here. I don't know why. I just finished this water. But I think they're like going back and watching like old vlogs, because I can see like on what videos like people comment on. And they're going back and they're commenting on, like, this is from, this was my very first vlog. Oh, this was December 31st, January. This was my very first vlog they commented on. They said, thank you so very much, Pierre and Alex. But anyway, I love that they're going back in there. So thank you that you're going back in and commenting on this. And then Hi-Fi Beef said, oh man, the Lesson Zero soundtrack is so good. Time. See what you've done. She's done to me. That Bangles song. Elizabeth gave me a bunch of blue hearts. Hey, Elizabeth! Carolyn said, hi, Peter, get better. Hi, Carolyn. Thank you so much. Private Privacy said, thank you for being the best part of my day. Love you, Peter. I love you, too. Maria smiles a lot. Gave me a blue heart. Beatrice said, love you, Peter. Love you, Beatrice. Love you, Wild Iris. Priya said, this medicine ball, I did read this, this comment, is on the menu as honey citrus mint tea. You can still say medicine ball and they know what it is, but since it was so popular, they added it to the menu. Comes with the lemonade and honey, just FYI. I love it too. Thank you so much for that, Priya. Thank you, Shama G. I hope things get better for you. Megan, thank you for telling me to feel better with a little blue heart. Thank you, Connie. Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you, Angela. Kelsey, go Hoosiers. Thank you, Twyler is irked for saying that you love these more and more. I appreciate it. Thank you, Jane. Thank you, Lucy. Oh, thank you, Jessica. My eyes, I need my reading glasses. Bella said, Red Band Society on Fox was so underrated. I watch every episode. I love it so much. Did you think that girl looked like, who is that? I don't know who that person is. Did you think that that girl looked like Winnie Cooper from... Hold on a second. Before I say anything about this, I want to look this up. You said, rest in peace, Claire Wineland, who I looked up and said was an American activist and author through her nonprofit organization, Claire's Place Foundation. She supported people with terminal and chronic illness as well as their families. Did she have something to do with the Red Band Society book? Red Band Society. Did she help write it? Writer. If she did, I didn't know that. Oh, Octavia Spencer was on that show. I totally forgot about that. She was so good. That show was really good. But what was the girl's name? Red Band Society. Oh my God, the guy from My So-Called Life was on there. I forgot about that. But this one girl... Oh, here she is. Sierra Bravo. I thought she looked like Winnie Cooper from The Wonder Years on that show. Did you ever see that show? Anyway, Wilson Cruz. That's the one that was on... That show was so good. Why did they cancel that Red Band Society? Anyway. All the shows that I like get canceled. Thank you, Sarah. Should feel better soon. Sutton family. Ela. Blue Hearts. Thank you. Julie said, okay, I have one more channel name for your cooking channel, Peter Pan's. And just, okay, I'm going to talk about the cooking channel in just a second. Hey, Charlie. Said I can't see if it's a guy or a girl, so they haven't commented in ages, but still here. Hey. Hey, Mr. J. Thank you. Thank you, Lana. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you, Tammy. These two different Tammys in here literally comment on every vlog and every video I do. You guys have been around for a long time. Don't think I don't know who you are. Oh, thank you, Carrie. Thank you, Jess. Jess, I think you were first. You were first. Love you too, Kayla. Cindy said you got to play the tape all the way through. Love you, my brother in recovery. Okay, Cindy, I want to talk about that too. Those are two things I want to talk about. And then I probably am not going to talk for a really long time. I was going to turn that light off a whole lot longer tonight. Although I don't even know. Well, I mean, I've only gone for what, like 20 minutes or something like that. So, okay, the cooking thing, first of all. Let's talk about that. Haters, get ready. So, I was talking about the cooking channel with my friend Valerie, right? So, let me tell you kind of the fruition of what happened. I have said for quite some time that I have no plan for starting a 6th channel. I don't have any plan. Well, I don't as of today. I'm thinking about it. But that doesn't mean that if I want to start a 6th channel or a 7th channel that I wouldn't start it. It's my business. I'll do what I want to do. It's my life, right? Life is short. I'm kind of past the point, I guess, of... Well, this was what the conversation was about. So anyway, so my friend Valerie, she watches all of my vlogs, okay? So she had heard me mention it on here. So what happened was, I did this video about Jaclyn Hill's boyfriend, Jordan. He started a channel on YouTube, and it's called More Seasoning. If you like cooking channels, you should go check it out. It's really, really good. It's really enjoyable. So he started this channel called More Seasoning. Well, I did this video on my Peter Monn channel, and I talked about it, and I said that, you know, like, I think it would be interesting to do a cooking video or a cooking channel or whatever, and, you know, blah, 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 and how fun was it that he was doing this and all this kind of stuff. And I said this on there, right? And so people were like, oh my God, like, you should start a cooking channel. I said, oh, I think I joked on there, and I said, can you imagine if I, like, started a cooking channel or whatever? And people were like, oh my God, you should start a cooking channel. And I was like, it kind of, like, ran through my head, right? Like, when I was reading the comments, I was like, but I don't cook, okay, so what would I do? And so then, like I mentioned in another video, I was like, you know, like, I thought about maybe starting a cooking channel and it being like, me, like, trying to follow recipes, because I don't cook in my kitchen, like, at all. Like I said this the other night in the vlog. Like, I can cook, like, a box of macaroni and cheese. I can make stuff that comes from a box, whatever. I can follow, like, a basic recipe, but, like, I do not cook. Like, I don't think people really get this. Like, we literally do not cook, right? So, I was like, how fun would it be to start a channel for people that are just wanting to learn how to cook, or just starting, or just to watch something funny, right? You know? And follow me following a recipe, right? Like, so I would just pick a random recipe. I would let people, like, write in and be like, this is the recipe that I want to see, right? So I would just do these random recipes, okay? It could be anything. I mean, it could be literally, like, from an omelet to a grilled cheese sandwich to a Thanksgiving dinner. I mean, it could be whatever. I mean, it could be as elaborate or as simple as I wanted to make it be, right? And I started thinking about it. And the more I thought about it, I thought, that's kind of like a fun idea. Not to mention, I would be learning to cook. Like, people constantly are like, you know, like, why don't you want to cook? You should cook. You should cook. You should cook. Why don't you cook? You'd save money if you cook. You should cook. I mean, that has been probably one of the most consistent comments I've received on my videos through the years, right? So, and I thought, well, maybe by doing that, I would learn to enjoy cooking. I would start, like, learning to enjoy cooking. So I mentioned it in my vlog the other day, and honestly, like, I just kind of thrown the idea out there. I wasn't, like, thinking real seriously. But I did think, like, if I was gonna do it, maybe I would do it and I would try it around, like, June or something like that, right? So I mentioned it on my vlog the other day. Well, I was talking to my friend Valerie about it, and part of it was, I didn't really know, like, how I would get people engaged in yet another channel, if that makes sense. But what's interesting about that is that I started the review channel, what, a year ago? And I know that there are people that have found my review channel that only watch my review channel, because I hear from them, they tell me that. And like all the people in my personal life, my review channel is typically the one channel that they do watch. Like out of all of my videos, that's the one that they watch, you know, the most. And I know that people really, really like the review channel. And so it's like, that's so completely different than what I do on my other channels. So who's to say if I started a cooking channel that a lot of people wouldn't find it or enjoy it or whatever, right? And I was like, I guess there was part of me too that was like, I knew that there was going to be that group of people out there that were going to be like, oh, he started a 6 channel. Oh my God, it's so hilarious. He's so full of himself. Blah, blah, blah. 6 channels. All he has to do is just talk and talk and talk about himself and, you know, whatever. Can you believe he's starting a 6 channel and on and on and on. I knew there was going to be that group out there, right? And so I was talking to my friend Valerie and she said, are you really going to do this cooking channel? Like, I think that's fantastic. Like, I think that is hilarious. I would love that. And I go, would you really? And she goes, I would love to see you do a cooking channel. She goes, I think that would be so much fun. I would watch it. I would really get down with it. And I go, yeah, I don't know, like, how I really feel about that. And she's like, well, what's making you think that you wouldn't want to do it? Like, she's like, I'd love to see you do like those HelloFresh things, or she said something like that, I think. She's like, I just think it would be so much fun. You would have so much fun, like, following a recipe, you know? And I was like, yeah, I don't know. And she's like, well, what's like the one thing that's holding you back? And I said, I just don't really want to deal with the BS that, you know, like that one faction of people out there that can't stand me thinks. And they're like, oh, ha ha, he's starting a channel and he's so full of himself and blah, 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 whatever. And she goes, why do you give a shit? She's like, those people don't like you anyway. They're always going to say stuff about you. And I was like, I know, and blah, blah, blah. Because like in theory, you know that, right? Like, you know that, like when you've done this long enough, you're like, yeah, I get it, right? But she's like, no, like seriously, they don't like you. That's not changing. Why do you care? She's like, do what makes you happy. She's like, do something that makes you happy. Those people are not, she goes, those people are miserable. She's like, they're not happy about anything and they just love to hate on you. So she's like, whether you start 10 channels or you don't start another one, she goes, it really doesn't matter. She goes, why do you care? And I was like, she's so right. And I was like, I'm starting a 6th channel. So I do think that I'm going to be starting the cooking channel. So you haters out there, that I just hope you can get all ready for the cooking channel. I was actually thinking today. I was actually thinking today about, like, if I started it, what would be my very first recipe that I would do on there. And so I have this cookbook that when I was in elementary school, we had to like submit. Have I talked about this on here before? I think I've shown it. So it's from my elementary school, and it was, so every year, my elementary school had like a Native American theme like to it, like its name and stuff like that. And so every year they would do like this thing, they called it a powwow. And it was like a fundraiser for the school. And they had like carnival, and they would have like, you know, bake sales, and you just walk around the school. So much fun. I don't know how I just forgot about that. But you walk around the school and you buy like all the baked breads, and you know, then you would do like the games and the gym and stuff like that. Well, so I don't know what grade I was in. I think I was like in 3rd grade or something. They came up with that they were going to do this powwow cookbook, and that like kids could like submit like their favorite recipes from their moms, and then we in class we had to draw pictures of things, right? And then like our pictures, our cartoons or our pictures or whatever, they used with the recipes in the book. So my mom, she did her raw apple muffins. She submitted. And I think she submitted, that might have been the only recipe. I think we each only got to put one recipe in there. So I think she did her raw apple muffins. And then my picture is spaghetti with meatballs. And it's a bowl of spaghetti, and it has the meatballs on top of it, which is basically just all these is, right? But anyway, so I thought, my mom made these muffins, and they were called raw apple muffins. And like when you bit into it, it had like raw muffin in the middle of it, like a raw muffin, raw apple that was like uncooked inside of it. They were delicious. And so it was kind of like, did you ever have like, you know when you take like the apples and you like simmer them in like a pan or whatever, but they're like cooked, but they're like still kind of like soft in the middle, they're not like, that's what it was like. So it kind of like cooked them a little bit, but like they were still kind of raw. Anyway, I used to love them. We used to always have them with chili, and they had like this brown sugar and brown sugar topping on them and all this kind of stuff. They were fantastic. So I thought those would be a really great like first recipe for me to follow, because the recipe is actually in there and it's supposed to be really simple, right? So I thought that I could just take it. The first recipe that I would do on there would be of something that my mom made, and I thought that that would be really, you know, nice, and it'd be kind of a cool tribute to my mom. But when Alex and I got married, Tanya got us an ice cream maker that is in the basement, and so I thought it would be really fun to do like make some like healthy ice creams and stuff for the summer. I thought that would be a really cool one to do. Just to follow all kind of different recipes. You know, I've wanted to have like sausage biscuits and gravy, or whatever you all call them, forever now, right? And people are like, there's really good vegetarian options. And so I thought that would be a really fun one to do on there. I thought to really, I mean, take some, and then like pick a really seriously hard one and follow it. I think that would be fun to do. We have a friend of ours, and she has this stuffing, like, you know, dressing, you know, for Thanksgiving, and it is so fantastic. It's like the best dressing, best stuffing in the entire world. But the recipe, she sent it to us, and she acted like it was no big deal to follow. It's like a pinch of this, a pinch of that, a pinch of this, a pinch of that. It's like so, I mean, I looked at Alex, because Alex was like, are you gonna make it? I was like, hell no, I'm not gonna make that. That's the most confusing stuffing in the entire world. We went out to dinner with them, and she got laughing so hard. She's like, oh my God, Peter. She's like, that is so easy. I don't even follow a recipe anymore. I just stand there and do it on my own. I'm like, okay, but it's you invented it, you know? So, what do y'all think about that? You excited about that? You guys are like, no. We love you. We're not a hater, and we're still not supportive of the idea. But actually, it was funny, because the other day, a lot of people were like, oh my God, I would love that. I love that. I would love that. I love that. So, I'm going to start it probably, and those that, I don't know, we'll have to see timing-wise what I got going on in my life, but, you know, we'll see, and if those that want to watch it can watch it, and those that don't have to, and that's kind of the nice thing about the world, isn't it? I have such amazing friends, don't I, that remind me of the things that I already know, but I forget sometimes. I think, you know, we need friends of ours to remind us of those truths about ourselves, you know. And I'm so thankful for Valerie. I need to say that on here because she says I don't talk about her enough in my vlogs. I love you, Valerie. I love you, Valders. So anyway, but I do love her, and I feel so blessed for her and Tanya and Melissa, and then I have like 3 really, and you know what's interesting about her and Tanya and Melissa is that they're 3 extremely strong women, but their strength comes in different ways, you know, and I think it's interesting that I gain different lessons from each of them. I mean, Valerie, unlike Melissa and Tanya, I think, like Melissa and Tanya, like I think are people that don't really, what's the saying? I mean, they don't, I'm not a believer that when people say like, I don't care what other people say about me, I'm not a believer that that's true. I think we all to some degree care what other people think about us, at least the people that are close to us, right? But like, Tanya and Melissa are good at not caring what other people think, but like, you know, when Melissa's been in some videos of mine and some people are like, oh, you guys talk over each other or whatever, and people have made some critical statements of her, I know that that was hurtful of her. People have said things to Tanya that have been hurtful to her, okay? I mean, there were some people out there that said very critical things about how she looked. They said something about, like, just made fun of her, and it hurt her. She didn't like that, right? And Valerie does not care. Like, she really does not care. She's like, I mean, she really is so good for me on that. She was like, you don't know these people. Why do you care what these people have to say about you? And she's so good for me on that, you know, like, she just is always so supportive of me, on really seeing clearly what's really going on, you know what I mean? And I'm so thankful for it. Stopped. I was just saying that I was so thankful for her for that. And the thing is, it's happened over time. Like, you know, when it happened with Melissa, I really thought Melissa would say she never wanted to be in another video again. But then there was like, I came out and I said something about it. I think it was actually on a vlog, wasn't it? I came out and said something about it. And people were so unbelievably supportive of her that I think it kind of turned the tables. And then, you know, like we did the Halloween we reviewed Halloween the movie. And Melissa said some things. I mean, Melissa's pretty much, I mean, she's an expert when it comes to like the franchise of the Halloween movies. And I mean, she collects all the masks. She's had them signed by every one of the original Michaels. I mean, she knows her stuff. She's gone to the set and walked the set several times. She's met Jamie Lee Curtis. She's sat on the panels. I mean, Melissa knows her stuff. She's researched this stuff for years, right? And a lot of horror movies, but mostly Halloween. And when we reviewed that video, it was interesting because she got some critical statements in there, not like mean, but like critical. And there were like 2 comments in there that were like questioning her facts. And so we were talking about it on the phone, and because like one of them was kind of like worded in kind of like a not so nice way. And she goes, you know what? She goes, they were right though. And I go, they were? And she goes, yeah. She was like, I didn't even realize I had said that. She goes, but they were totally right, you know? And then I think she got it. Like, I think she understood the whole, like, not everybody's gonna love you, and you're not gonna always get, like, I mean, it takes a while to get those comments, or to understand that when you're on YouTube, it's like, you have to be really careful of, like, jumping to conclusions. Like, the other thing, and like Tanya completely understands it now. Like, she really gets it. It really doesn't bother her at all. I mean, at this point, Tanya would probably be in vlogs and stuff like that again. I just don't push the issue with her because I don't need to. I mean, she's my friend, whether she's in a vlog and she's not in a vlog. And I'm not gonna push the issue again. When she feels comfortable and like I happen to just like have the camera and I turn it on and she wants to do it, then if it seems right, like if we're gonna do a video together, well, there was a video that we were gonna do together. What was it? I can't remember what it was. And Melissa and I actually have a review that we're gonna do together because there's a specific reason why we have to do it. But Tony and I were gonna do a video together, and she's totally fine for doing it. It's like she's just not gonna throw herself, you know, out there for no reason whatsoever. But Tanya, like, loves YouTube. She, like, watches all these videos now. She's got her favorite. Tanya watches people that I don't even know who they are. You know, she's got her favorite people and stuff like that. And so, you know, that's kind of evolved into its own thing, and she really understands the comments. And I think that, like, the other thing is this, I think you learn, this is where you can't jump to conclusions a lot with comments, is that, like, okay, my vlog is a really good example of this. I have people on my vlog that I know really care about me, okay? That they've consistently said nice things, and they have sent me things, not that that means anything, but, I mean, you don't send somebody something if you don't like them, right? And, you know, on and on and on. They've been very supportive of me. But then they'll make a comment, and if you read that comment isolated and you didn't know anything else about this person, you would be like, because there's a tone to haters, okay? Haters pry. Haters pick apart my stories. Haters want to say, oh, well, you said this, but you never said this, and you said this, and you never said, listen, just, it's a vlog, okay? You don't pick apart podcasts and things like that. It's just me talking about my life. So, you know, like if you go in and I think it's sometimes the tone of how people present things. And it reminds me of like when my husband and I first got together, you know, like I'm not a big texter. I wasn't, well, I am more now than I obviously, you know, was then, but I just wasn't a big texter. And so I would, you know, text him things and like he would text me back like K or whatever, you know, and like I'd be like, is that all you know what I mean? Because like I wasn't like of this texting world where we just texted LOL and K and all this kind of stuff, right? And so like I was reading into that. Well, I think that's kind of the case sometimes, is that like I think sitting on one side of the screen and you're typing a comment, it sounds one way in your head. And then for me or whatever YouTuber to read the comment, it sounds another way in our heads when we're reading it. And you have to be careful of that too, you know? You have to be like, am I jumping to conclusions? I can totally today tell when it is somebody that is a Peter hater, because it's just, they're very transparent with the language that they use. It's really about, and they really cannot stand that I don't, like, that I'm not willing to sit there and, like they specifically ask certain things that they think is gonna drive me crazy. And they're like, yeah, but you said this when you said, and I'm like, oh, whoa. It's like, because you read comments like I was just doing, right? And it's like, da, 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 da. It's like, it seems like that when you're reading it. And it's like, woo, okay. I know you have a crush on me. I know you have a crush on me. I know you like me, okay? But you need to settle down a little bit, okay? You don't need to come at me like that. I know you got a crush on me. So it's just like, I'm just like, whatever, you know? So I think it's kind of like, you know, I've been very blessed to have, I also think I feel very blessed to have 3 friends that really understand like me being on YouTube too. And Tanya was like the very first one. Valerie has watched YouTube for years. Like she just, you know, has. So she got it already. She watches people all the time that she's always telling me about people that she loves. She's this, she's always telling me about, who's this one person she's always telling me about? She tells me to watch. This makeup influencer that she loves. Lisa somebody. Anyway, I said something to Tanya. Tanya goes, oh, I love her too. And I think she was the one that also told me about Lana, Indiana. Lana, Indiana, is that her name? And Valerie was. So they get it, you know? Like, Tanya will get in the car and she'll say, what do you think about this? Or what do you think about that? I'm like, you are more interested in this. You need to start a drama channel, gal. You're more interested in this than I am. She's like, no, but what do you think? And I'm like, so like when I sit there in my videos and I say, it's like sitting in the kitchen having a cup of coffee, just talking about this stuff, like Tanya and I really do. Like we drive around and we talk about it. Sometimes like I'll sit and talk to her about whatever the story is or whatever's going on before I like make a video the next day about it. Because I kind of want to see what her perspective is on things, which is always really interesting because, you know, she's not of the world, but she really is, obviously, just like anybody else responding to something, you know? And she very regularly has opinions that I would never think of. Like, she'll just pull something out and be like, yeah, but had you ever thought of this? And I'm like, God, I never saw it that way. Why did you see it that way? And she's like, well, I just think blah, 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 whatever, you know? Or, you know, and I have to say, like, 9 times out of 10, like, Tanya's response to things is always like, you know, she'll say, I think, you know, like, when you see them from this kind of celebrity eye from a long point, I'm talking about, like, beauty influencers and stuff, she'll say, you know, like, I think when you see them from this point of view for a long period of time, like, you have this heightened idea of who they are as a person. She goes, but Peter, I think you forget that they're just people too, you know? And I'm like, yeah, you're right. And she's like, so if you were just really just dealing with this, how would you, like, she's like, I think that's what this is. You know, I'm just making stuff up as I'm going, but, you know, as an example, but she always kind of sees things from a different perspective. It's interesting. So that would be an interesting video actually to do, is to have Tanya talk about like what she thinks about, you know, Tati Westbrook and James Charles and Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson and Trish Paytas. And who else are some people that she and I talk about on a regular basis? She talked about the Nikki Tutorial stuff. Who else? Manny, Laura. She likes Raw Beauty Christie. Nikita, Gabriel, Tana Mojo, the Paul brothers. Who's somebody else that Tana? Who's somebody else that Tanya watches that she's like keeps up with what's going on? She knows about all the Ace family stuff. She knows probably more about that than I do. Oh my God, the Nikocado Avocado Stephanie Sue stuff. It'd be kind of funny to do a video where I just like went through the whole thing and asked her what she thought about all that kind of stuff. Can you imagine? That would be a fun video, wouldn't it? So anyway, to my recovery sister out there that commented earlier, I want to say this. You know, it's interesting. Tanya and I were talking tonight, and I was telling her about, I'd even told her, because she said, you told me about this the other night, about when I had that like 30 seconds to that minute where I was thinking about like, oh, well, maybe I don't want to be a vegetarian anymore. And I said, you know, it was so weird. We were talking about a friend of ours that went back out several years ago, and like, you know, just how she's doing and whatever. And so she, you know, she said, I said, you know, I said, it's like when I was thinking about the vegetarianism thing, it's like, it literally like, it creeps into your head and then it's there and it's like, but it could take over. And she said, and Tanya said this, she said the power of a fleeting thought. And I was like, exactly. And she's like, no, it's so scary. She's like, you know, we don't give it enough credit. She's like, but the power of a fleeting thought is what has led to, you know, we talk about it just leading to a relapse, but a relapse ruins lives, it kills people, it takes their kids away, it ruins marriages, it ruins careers, you know? And so that one thought creeping into our head that maybe I could have a beer. Somebody said on my video the other day, I don't know if they misunderstood, but they said, you can't go back to drinking. I hope that you know that. I don't desire that. I don't know that. If I had to pick today, like if somebody said to me, Peter, you could go, I want to make this very, very clear, because I'm this passionate about sobriety and being just clear-headed of clear, you know, mind. I sometimes feel jealous of the fact, this is what I was talking about in my video, that I can't have like a glass of wine with my husband. I wish I could drink normally, like a normal person, but I know that I can't, right? But I am also so overboard with it that if like somebody came down, if like, you know, God came down and said, you can drink like a normal person today, and I knew that that was fact, I still don't know that I would. Like, I really like having a clear mind. I really, really like having a clear mind and it being unaffected. I don't know, like, you know, a lot of people were being very nice on the comments, and they were saying when I was saying that I was sick, oh, you should try this, or you should try that, or there's this, you know, cold and sinus medication and whatever. I don't take anything over the counter. Nothing whatsoever. Come on, get into focus. I don't take anything over the counter. That's a choice. You know, there's a lot of people in sobriety that they take over the counter medication. They're completely fine with that, and I don't judge people that do. That's their business. I've never had the need to take any kind of drug, but I can tell you that if I had to go through surgery or, you know, God forbid, have something horrible, my wisdom teeth taken out or something like that, I would. Like, there are ways that they tell us, you know, I would have Alex get my medication and give it to me as prescribed, and then when I didn't need it anymore, I would have him throw it away, and that is what is recommended in recovery. But I've never had to do that as of today, you know, 25 years, and that was one of my big fears when I got sober was, oh my God, what if I have to, like, go and, you know, have something horribly done, and then I have to, like, that's never come up, not once in 25 years, but if it did, I have ways to deal with that, and Alex knows that, you know? But I choose not to take anything over the counter, because I don't want to be affected by any mood-altering drug whatsoever, and and people would even question whether or not, you know, caffeine and nicotine were mood-altering. I mean, they are legitimately mood-altering drugs. They really are, you know, and I guess maybe I rationalize that. I don't know. But I don't like anything that makes me feel like woozy or out of it or whatever. And so I won't take any of those cold medicines or anything. And if people are like, there's non-drowsy, even the non-drowsy medication, I've tried to take it at times. Like, I've been really, really sick. I've taken like a third of one or like a fourth of one, and I can still feel it, and it still makes me feel, I don't like it. I don't like how it makes me feel, so I just don't. You know, I just don't take it at all. You know, and if you're talking about being recommended a dose, and you're recommended 2 pills, and I'm taking a fourth of one just to see if I can tell, and I did it one time and I didn't like it, there's no reason for me to take that, you know? So I don't know that, like, but I don't want anybody to worry about, like, I mean, not that you guys are, but I'm not worried about that, like, as for today, and I only have a daily reprieve, but that is not, I don't worry about that for myself. Like, that wasn't what I was saying. I was talking about, like the vegetarianism, how quickly, if you aren't doing what you need to be doing, this is why for me, working a recovery program is important. This is why for me, you know, a friend of mine and I were talking about this tonight. He's been sober over 40 years, okay? 40 years. Oh my God, the battery is dying. I have another battery in here, but I don't even know that it's that full. But you know, he was saying to me, he was like, I've never thought that how much time that you have sober means anything. He goes, I don't think it matters. You know, we were talking about how people that are in early sobriety, I met people that had 30 days sober that said things that were so profound and inspirational spiritually that just completely floored me, you know? So I don't know that, I don't think it matters how much sobriety time somebody has or, you know, whatever. Now I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna replace this battery. If the battery is charged, and I'll talk a little bit longer, but I've already gone on longer than I thought I was going to. So we'll see. If it's not, then I'm gonna have to finish up this vlog. But what was I even talking about? Why did I even bring that up? I did this the other night. I started talking about something, and then I realized, because somebody commented on it, I realized I went in there and I didn't even finish talking about what I had gone in there to talk about to begin with. Okay, it'll start flashing, like, literally within 30 seconds if it's dead. But, it's dead. It's dead. But what I was talking about was the power of a fleeting thought, you know, and I think that all of us need to be careful of that, not just in recovery, not just addicts and alcoholics, but all of us need to be careful of, you know, those fleeting thoughts of negativity that are toxic to our well-being. And Tanya and I were talking about that, and how, you know, like, we're so thankful that we have people in our life that we can talk to about those fleeting thoughts that come into our mind, and we can just nip them in the bud that quick, you know, because before they take over, you know, those negative, toxic thoughts. So anyway, I'm gonna get off here now. I hope you guys are having, what is tomorrow? An amazing Wednesday, unless you have other plans. But like I always say, don't have other plans. Enjoy your day. Do something really fun today. I cannot believe that my battery is dead, both of them. I'm sorry, guys, but I went longer than I thought I was gonna go. So anyway, have an amazing Wednesday. Do something great today. Do something really fun. Do something that will make you proud 5 or 10 years down the road, or just 30 days down the road. Put one foot in front of the other. Start something today. Start a goal today that you made for 2020. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. I do. I love you. And make sure that you look in the mirror every single day and do your daily positive affirmations. I love you. You are valuable. You are important. You matter. Good things are coming to you. Today is going to be a great day, and 2020 is your year. Good things are happening in 2020. Most importantly, make sure that you pass it on to somebody else and let them know. It keeps on dying. Let somebody know how important they are to you. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya.